Morning guys, from the top deck of MSC World Europa, and we have now docked in Genoa in Italy. Now, I haven't been here for a couple of years, but I remember it so clearly because this is actually where I did my first ever solo holiday. So I cannot wait to get off of the ship today. Just to give you a bit of a feel for what this looks like, behind at the moment, this is the back of the ship. The city is right there, so I am buzzing to get off of here. What we're going to do, I'm going to shoot down to the buffet to grab breakfast really quickly, and I will talk to you down in the cabin about the plan for today. Because we're not going to be doing anything fancy today, but I realised last night how much I adored my first time here. So I'm going to take you out, show you around, and give you a bit of a feel for, if you come to Genoa on any cruise ship, what kind of stuff could you get up to. So yeah, let's head down for breakfast and I'll see you back in the cabin. Now, just before we do anything else today, quite a few of you guys have asked what the food is like on MSC World Europa, so let me give you a really quick fly around the buffet to let you see, if you were to come to the buffet restaurant on World Europa, what kind of stuff can you expect to see, and I will catch up with you back down in the cabin. Okay, so here we are in the cabin and ready to head back out. Now, what I did want to catch up with you on here before we go is just a wee bit about Genoa. So I came my first ever, I said solo holiday, but my first ever solo cruise was from here. And I just remember falling in love with this city a little bit because this was actually, funny story, this was actually the first city that I tried staying in a hostel in. So I didn't really enjoy that experience too much. Which meant that rather than being in the place, I was just constantly out and about. So I was here, I think I was only here for one night, but it was one of them where I landed on the morning of day one and I got on the ship the afternoon of day two. So I did have a decent amount of time to explore. Now, what I want to do today is, I guess, show you some of those highlights of why I enjoyed my time here so much. From memory, it's definitely a city that you arrive at and you think, wow, everything here is just so old. Like, the architecture here is stunning. Like, you just have to look off the back of the ship. Everything looks beautiful and it looks like Italy on a postcard, to be honest. Minus what looks like the highway that is directly behind the ship. But after that, it looks like Italy on a postcard. Now, I love this place because you can get a totally different experience depending on what direction you walk in. So when you leave the ship, if you get off and just go straight into the town, then obviously you're going to have a very, I would call, like, old Italian experience where the architecture will be amazing. You'll be in the old town, there'll be like loads of bars and cafes and you can just sit outside and people watch, and I love that. That's also where all like the chapels and the cathedrals are, so we will go there today. But secondly, we're going to go to what I think was my favourite thing about being here before. So I love being by the water, obviously, hence the plan for this year. But they have like a huge marina section. Well, not huge, it's a good size marina that's attracted quite a lot of money to it. And last time I was here, there was quite a lot of super yachts that were down there. So I am really keen to go for a wander down there and see if they are still there. One other thing that I loved about the marina is that they've got, or they used to have anyway, a Costa coffee down there. So I am so brand loyal, where I would happily get a Costa every single country I go to. So that's still there today. We absolutely will be getting a coffee on the go. But yeah, so plan for today is to look at old Genoa and then move over and look at what we'll probably call new Genoa for the sake of this video. Although if you're watching this and you live in Genoa, I'm so sorry, because that's that's probably offended you. But yeah, look, let's get out of this cabin and go and explore all of Genoa in Italy. Right, so it's currently bang on midday, and this seems to be a brilliant time to leave the port. Now, granted, we have missed pretty much the whole morning. We did dock here at 8, but because I've been here before and because I have a pretty clear plan of what I'm going to do, I just haven't prioritised getting off early this morning because I wanted to chill for a bit, which I make no apology for. So yeah, we're heading out of the port now. To be honest, we'll be back here in loads of time. All aboard isn't until 6:30. So I'll have showed you when we were getting off the ship there. The MSC always put an all aboard time printed on like the outside of the ship. You'll also get that in the daily schedule, so just always make sure you check, because you never ever ever want to miss the ship that you're booked onto. But yeah, we are coming out the other side of the terminal now, so I'm gonna sign off here and I will speak to you just shortly on the other side. Right, so a couple of minutes after leaving the port, I am already in what is the start of the old town in Genoa. Now, the thing that I really enjoy about the old town here is that it genuinely, although you're in a town or a city where a massive cruise ship's docked, it genuinely feels as though tourists haven't found this place. I felt that way a couple of years ago, and I'm really pleasantly surprised that I still feel that way. That everyone around you is speaking Italian. There's literally no other holidaymakers except the ones that are clearly on the ship. Now, the thing that's amazing about the old town here is it's all built in all these little really thin alleyways. Believe it or not, the one we're in right now is actually quite wide compared to some of them. And then they all build up to this street here that we're about to walk onto. Just make sure we don't get run over in the process. But this sort of main street is where all the shops are, where the restaurants are. Quite a few of them are closed at the moment. I'm not sure why. Now there's a trolley coming down, so you're probably... Let me turn this way, otherwise you'll definitely not hear me on those cobbles. I'm not entirely sure why some of them are closed. They might operate with some kind of siesta type thing here. I'll go down here. Hopefully that will get us away from the battering of that trolley. Now the really nice thing about the old town here is that you're directly beside the new port where all those super yachts are. So I'm just going to have a wander around here. I'll give you guys a bit of a glimpse of the old town of Genoa, because the alleyways we're walking down at the moment probably don't look too picturesque, but I absolutely assure you it is gorgeous here. So look, let me take you back up to the main bit there, give you a look round, and then we'll head down to the port. So the strangest thing is happening right now, where I keep having these really weird flashbacks to when I was here before, and I've just had a flashback to what I think is probably my clearest memory of being here. Now I want to take you into this church slash chapel, this one here, to show you what it's like, because you literally come, the old town is right here, we've just come out of one of those really narrow streets. It's just on a roundabout in the middle of the city, and it's relatively, by Italian standards, it's relatively unassuming. Yeah, fine, it's got pretty grand pillars at the front, but in comparison to some of them, this doesn't look much from the outside. Now, if my memory serves me right, it's very like gold in here, and I remember just being completely blown away the last time I was in. So look, let me take you in. I can't remember if you have to pay actually, but let me take you in, and yeah, give you a quick look around, and I'll catch up when we come back out. Right, so back outside, and man, I mean, when I said earlier that by Italian standards this cathedral isn't actually that impressive, or it's not that much, I think I said, what I meant is this wall here, which is a pretty bland wall that you'd expect to find in any modern building, that's actually the side of this cathedral. So yeah, or basilica rather they call it here. Yeah, honestly, from being in there, again, I feel like I keep saying it on this trip, but I am completely blown away. This dates back to the 17th century, which I even struggle to just get my head around how well restored it is, considering how old it is. It is so impressive. Now, one of the lovely things with going in there, and I will put the name of this basilica down at the bottom of the screen if you are planning a trip here, but one of the lovely things about that, like I really hate when you find religious buildings that you then have to pay to enter. So like York Minster in the UK is one of my real pet hates, because we claim that religion is dying, yet we charge people in some cases quite a lot of money to go into the church to have a look around. So here, but religious rant over, in here, they say feel free to leave €1 in the tin if you want, but there's no one asking for money. It's just come on in, have a look round. You're more than welcome to take pictures. Like, just all that we ask is that you're quiet when you do it, which, yeah, that is absolutely brilliant. I am so glad that I just stumbled upon this. And if you are coming to Genoa, please promise me that you'll go in there and check that out. Yeah, one thing that we always do, I guess it's like a bit of a family tradition now, is that when we go to these basilicas or chapels or cathedrals in other countries, we always light a candle. So I got to do that in there, which is lovely. It's always a little bit emotional actually when you do that, I think. But yeah, you throw €1 in and you can light a candle that then stays lit for the rest of the day. So yeah, I think I've just had a very wholesome 20 minutes. So I am going to now head down towards the marina and try and get a coffee, maybe from a relatively well-known British coffee chain. Yeah, let's head down to the marina and I'll see you down there. Right, guys, I've gone even worse. I thought I was going to get a Costa, but I've actually opted for a McDonald's. So, excellent. However, I'm going to win myself back slightly by saying that what I've ordered I actually couldn't get in the UK. So I've ordered a wrap, and get this. This has blown my mind, actually. I mean, they don't look... they actually don't look that good. But these are loaded fries that you can get in McDonald's over here, which apparently... I mean, they have bacon, yes, and then they've got cheese as well, so I think it's like that cheese sauce. So yeah, I love how a few videos ago, I think literally yesterday, I was talking about how I was running and how much food I was eating on that ship. So I'm now in McDonald's. But yeah, I'm going to eat this, and I will see you on the way back over to the port. Right, post McDonald's, which let's move the conversation on as quickly as we can from that. Now, the square that we're currently in, this is a pretty key place to talk to you guys in order to help you get your bearings with this city if you are coming on a cruise. Now, above my finger here, you can maybe, but I need to watch it back on the computer to see, you can maybe see World Europa. Now, World Europa today is docked right in the centre of the city where the majority of cruise ships will dock if you're going to visit Genoa. Now, the reason why this square is really important is because quite a lot of people say to me, oh, when you go on a cruise, do you always go on excursions, or do you do your own thing, or do you miss out by not doing excursions? And to be honest, anyone that's followed my channel for longer than 5 minutes will know that I very, very, very rarely will do an excursion for a number of reasons, but the primary reason being that, I mean, factually, if the cruise line is selling an entry ticket to somewhere, unless they've very specifically negotiated a discounted rate to get their profit margin included in there, you're going to pay more just for the luxury of someone giving you a ticket before you leave the ship. Now, this square, you can see behind me here, you've got one of the buggy trains that you can book via the ship. You've also, it's behind that red van now actually, but behind that red van, there is a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing bus that you can book through the ship. And in the blue building just here is the Genoa Aquarium, which is one of the top things to do in this city, which again, you can book through the ship. So, yes, fine, if you book it through the ship, they'll probably send someone with a pole with a number on it and get you to follow them to walk along to here. But the reality is you'll probably pay a lot more money for that luxury. Now, Genoa generally, if you're doing an attraction in the city, and that's what you're thinking, do I do an excursion or do I do my own thing? Honestly, this city is so walkable. If you are considering it, I would seriously say just jump on Google, have a look, but I think you'd be all right to just throw on your trainers and just go for a walk. Now, I am now heading over to the port, so you can probably tell the architecture, the landscape here has completely changed in the last couple of minutes. So we've gone from the old town with not really having too much room to breathe to now being in what is one of the main market squares. And yeah, in front of me now is all the boats, and yeah, I'm hoping the super yachts are there. I remember growing up, and I'll tell you this now in case someone with a yacht overhears me and I feel really poor. I remember growing up, I used to always say, oh my goodness, one day I'm going to have one of these yachts and it's going to be amazing, and yeah, haven't quite made it yet, so today I'm just going to get to go and look at them, so that's as close as I can afford to get, unfortunately. But yeah, look, I'll take you over to the marina, give you a little look at what's going on over there, because it's a really good vibe over there. So yeah, let's head over and I'll catch up with you shortly. So yeah, now down at the marina, and the sun's trying really hard to come out today, so I'm hoping that it pulls through for us. You might have noticed earlier it started raining, but thankfully that has gone off, so touch wood, it remains that way. Actually, one of you guys reached out on Instagram to say that I think in the US you don't say touch wood, you would say knock on wood. So yeah, touch wood / knock on wood that we're going to stay dry for the rest of today. Now, behind me at the moment, I'll put a better clip on, but behind me right now, you can see those boats that I was referring to. I mean, they're probably not even boats. Some of them probably are, like little mini ships. They are remarkable, and yeah, I can't really stay here too long because I get very jealous, and yeah, one day, this is probably a plea actually, if anyone that supports or follows my channel owns a super yacht, then please let me know, and I would love to come on board, but I think the chances of that, no offence to anyone, might be relatively slim, but you never know, worth a try. Now, I am going to head to the end of this pathway here, because a couple of years ago, I got a photograph with what at the time was MSC Orchestra in the background, which was my first MSC cruise ship that I took from here. And I'm going to try and get exactly the same picture taken again. So if I can find that picture from years ago, I'll put the two on at the end of this little section here. But yeah, one thing that is certain is that World Europa dwarfs everything in this entire harbour. It's really quite impressive, the scale that you're talking about. Some kind of medical bus here that I hope we can walk by. But it really is quite impressive, the scale that you're looking at. She looks massive against the entire city. Like, there's whole tower blocks and whole apartment buildings that just look tiny beside that ship. So yeah, look, let me spin round because we are at the photo point now and we've got like the whole city behind. So let me give you a better view than looking at me. Okay, photo's done, and that absolutely cracks me up because that would now be the exact same spot I would have been in for that same photo. Oh, I don't even know when that would have been. So my first cruise was 2018, I think, so probably 2019, so it's a scary amount of time. But yeah, so as you can see, World Europa is behind me at the moment. Perfect timing for said van to come in, great. Now, World Europa is over there. I am, time-wise, it's 20 to 4 now, so I am just gonna potter back round and head back to the ship. So my Garmin is saying that we have walked 5.2 kilometres, which, to be honest, that's quite good. I've probably walked off a bit of that McDonald's, so zero guilt required. Now, I am gonna head back to the ship, so should probably get there, what, about 4:30, 5 o'clock? So plenty of time before all aboard. Sail away from here, I am so looking forward to, because you can probably already tell that you are basically surrounded by the city. When you're in this port, it's really, really nice. It's just so Italian, which, yeah, that maybe sounds a little bit ridiculous to say, but I'm so excited to sail out of here tonight. I'm not sure if we're maybe on a running track right now, but someone has just ran by, and there's also 2 people about to run by, so yeah, who knows, I might have to run back to the ship in a minute. But yeah, let's head back, probably stop via the buffet. I thought I could get a coffee out here, but annoyingly, everywhere seems to be shut. And also Costa isn't here anymore, or I haven't found it yet, which is truly heartbreaking. So yeah, let's enjoy the views, soak it all in, and head back to World Europa, where we will then be able to sail away. But I'll talk to you before that. So yeah, speak to you in a bit. Right, do you know what? So often I get jip, or what would the word be? Yeah, I just get mocked because I come to various parts of the world and Exhibit A and earlier, I go for a McDonald's, or I go for a Starbucks, or I go for a Costa. And people say, oh, but you're in Italy, why don't you drink Italian coffee? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what I've tried to do today by ordering a latte. Now, I've never seen a latte with, well, to begin with, covered in a napkin, but we'll probably not go into that. But this latte, let me flip the camera and show you. It is the smallest thing that I have I've ever seen. So yeah, maybe we just drink a latte with far too much milk in the UK, but this seems excessively small. So I'm currently sitting in, what, a closed restaurant, I guess. The coffee shop's next door. I'm now sitting here to hoover up the free Wi-Fi from the restaurant, looking at World Europa. It's actually relatively idyllic, actually, minus the car park that's directly in front of us with the road running by. This is a really nice setup. So I'm gonna go savour all, probably what, 3.5 seconds of my latte. And yeah, then we'll head back over to the ship. Right, that's me now back at the cruise port, and you know, I have had such a good afternoon. That is another really good example. I think my last video I had a good example of when you can get off the ship and just have such a good time for like €5. So all that today has cost me is shamefully a McDonald's, and that is literally it. So yeah, you probably could do that a little bit more tastefully than what I've just done, but yeah. You can take the boy out of Glasgow. But anyway, I am now back at the terminal, which is probably the grandest terminal that I have ever seen. This is like a theatre when you look at it from the outside. So World Europa is just poking in above. So my plan now, I'm going to get back onto the ship, probably get pizza. I'm now down to the final countdown, where I think I've now got, what, I've got tonight, tomorrow night, and then one more night. So 3 nights, had to count there. I've got 3 more nights of being able to just have pizza whenever I want, almost 24 hours a day. So I need to continue to cash in on that. So yeah, look, let's get back through the terminal building, and I probably won't catch up with you now until sail away, because that is going to be in about 2 hours. So I think I'm just going to get on, chill out, and I'll catch up with all of you shortly. Brilliant. Let's get on board. Okay, time for me to fess up. Now, actually, since I got back on the ship, my documentation up until dinner was pretty pants. Now, that's because I ended up meeting up with some other people who have also got YouTube channels, and we all did sail away together, and then some of us went for dinner together. So I had the pleasure of dinner with Cruising with the 4Bs. So Tom and Rach invited me around the dinner table with the kids, and we headed off for teppanyaki. So yeah, this restaurant, you'll find this in the main Galleria section, and it's sort of located directly beside the Butcher's Cut. Now, I actually was pretty impressed with this. I always find teppanyaki can be a little bit hit or a miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's a bit naff, and it's all about the show rather than the quality of food. Now, what I would say with this teppanyaki on World Europa was that I actually did think the quality of food was there, so yeah, I would give this a thumbs up, and I would say that if you're planning to cruise on World Europa, yeah, try and get in here because it's good. The only word of warning that I would give you is that while we were at one table, every other table in the restaurant was full from memory, so you probably want to make sure that you get in and book this nice and early, especially because World Europa is such a big, busy ship. Now anyway, I've shown you the food, I've shown you a little bit of what goes on, and I'll catch up with you back down in the cabin, unfortunately, tomorrow morning. Okay, you might notice that I am now wearing different clothes and I am now back in my cabin. So, yeah, my plan to update you last night didn't happen because we ended up hanging out. So I met the 4Bs for dinner, and then we met up with Cruise Boys after, which was brilliant, but unfortunately it ended, I can't remember actually what time it did end. I want to say it was about 1 or 1:30 this morning at one of the bars at the back of the ship. So what I didn't then think was appropriate to do was to come on and close off my vlog episode. If I did, it probably would have been relatively interesting. So yeah, look, the following morning we are now at sea for the whole day. And then tomorrow morning we dock into Barcelona in Spain, which I am really excited about. Now, dinner last night, the good thing about catching up this morning is that I can update you properly on dinner. So we ate at the Teppanyaki restaurant on board, which when you go in is, I think it's quite small. I think generally the venues on this ship are quite small, but when you go in, you're offered one of 3 different options. So you can pick one menu at €29, one at 39, or one at, I think the higher one is 49, but it might be slightly higher than that. Now, I opted for the middle variant, and I will offer you a bit more of a review in a dining guide that I'm going to put onto my YouTube channel just shortly if it's not already up. But in a nutshell, I really enjoyed it. I think those experiences are always so dependent on A, if the people you're with are up for a good laugh, and also B, if you've got a good chef. I think in the room that we were in, there was, kind of 3 tables, and each table has got 2 serving stations, so a chef on either side. And I think out the room it looked as though we had the best chef that was there, who was certainly up for a laugh, which was, yeah, good. So I had a lot of fun in there. Now, my plan for today, I'm actually not going to do a vlog for today because you'll remember I've been on this ship now for quite a while, so I don't want to do a vlog from every day because I will run out of things to show you, and also you will run out of patience, and actually I think I'll end up annoying everyone if we've got 19 episodes from this one ship. So yeah, instead of a day at sea, I am going to upload a separate video that will talk you through 10 things that you can get up to if you are planning to spend a day at sea on World Europa. So yeah, I think that is probably enough for me for now for this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing Genoa, and hopefully you've enjoyed seeing a little bit more around the ship when I got back on last night. But for now, thank you so much for watching. As always, really appreciate everyone's support and just for following along. It's brilliant. I will brief you properly on the plans for my next ship after we get back on in Barcelona, now tomorrow, so probably my next video. But yeah, thank you for following along, thank you for your support, and I will catch up with all of you tomorrow when we get to Spain. Brilliant. Cheers guys. Bye.